In this video, we're going to introduce the technique of solving right triangles. When given a right triangle, there are a total of 6 numerical quantities that we can calculate. They are the two legs of a triangle, the hypotenuse of the right triangle, and the acute angles of a right triangle. Now, because the angles are no longer in standard position, we need names for both of them, and we're going to refer to them as alpha across from A and beta across from B. Additionally, the right angle we're going to refer to as gamma, the third Greek letter, so that all three of the corresponding angle side pairs are across from each other in the triangle. So to solve a right triangle, you are going to be given the right angle which we're referring to as gamma, being a 90-degree angle, and either an angle and a side, or two sides, we're going to find the three remaining quantities. What I like to do to organize my data as I'm working through these is, as early in the process as possible, go ahead and copy down all 6 of the quantities that we're going to be trying to find. Gamma is always going to be across from the hypotenuse. Hypotenuse will always be referred to as C, so gamma is always going to be our 90-degree angle. You'll also be able to fill in 2 more quantities. Now, the tools that we have access to for solving a right triangle. If you know one of the angles, you can calculate the other angle using the fact that in a right triangle, the two acute angles are complementary. If you're trying to relate the angles with the sides, then you have access to all 6 trigonometric ratios. Take a side that you know, relate it to a side that you want to know, and use the appropriate trigonometric ratio depending on whether you're working with alpha or beta. Finally, if you know 2 of the sides of the right triangle, you can use the Pythagorean theorem to find the third side. So with that in mind, let's talk about the times to use these things. So if I have and I want, use. So if you have one acute angle and I want the other angle, we're going to make use of alpha plus beta is equal to 90 degrees. If I have one acute angle and one side, and I want another side, that's where we're going to use a trigonometric ratio. Trigonometric ratio and a little bit of algebra will get us where we need to be. If you have 2 sides and you want an angle, you can once again use a trigonometric ratio for this, in addition to an arc trigonometric ratio, so an inverse trigonometric function. And finally, if you have 2 sides and you want the third side, that's the point where you can use a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared, our Pythagorean theorem. Now with that in mind, there's also no order in which you should be doing these, so please know that as we work through a couple of examples, there is a lot of freedom in these problems as far as things that you have versus things that you want versus things that you're going to calculate. So please know that if you want to take a slightly different approach to what you see in these videos, that's really okay.